Pollinator-friendly landscapes are important because right now our bees and pollinators such as butterflies, moths, beetles, flies, and birds are right now facing a lot of impacts from loss of habitat, from climate change, and habitat fragmentation, making it dangerous for pollinators to use those plants.
Our pollinators need pollen to survive, and animals, our forests, our plants need pollinators to survive. They thrive, we thrive.
Pollinator-friendly landscapes are important because they provide nutrients to local pollinators that we don't get from the monoculture of grass that we typically see in a landscape and on a lawn.
You know, we've taken away so much of the pollinator habitat to plant our crops and to build our houses that this is a way we can rebuild that for them. It benefits them and it benefits us. I mean, it can be a beautiful part of your yard. The most simple thing you can do, plant a native tree and a native shrub. It's super easy. The thing about native plants is they like it here. So if you put them in the ground, you don't have to do a whole lot with them. They will provide the pollinators with one of the earliest sources of nectar that they can find, plus the habitat of the tree and shrub. So once you build it, they will come. You can go as small or as large as you want. You can do it with container gardens on your deck. This is my sacred space. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, it's calming. I like being one with nature and doing my part to help wherever I can. It's my Zen place.
Pollinator-friendly landscapes require less water. The native plants that we have here in Minnesota typically have really deep growing roots, so they need less water because they can access water in times where we don't get it from the sky. Whereas the typical turf Kentucky bluegrass that we have has really shallow roots so that they can't reach water in times where we don't have it from rain. So it uses a whole bunch more water than our native plants. We recently reviewed our city code to make sure that it didn't restrict homeowners from changing their landscapes and their yards to be more pollinator friendly, and it doesn't. That's great. You can still be in compliance with city code.
The Washington Conservation District has several resources available for residents to help support pollinators. The grants can be used for anything relating to a 10 by 10 native planting to something as large as an entire prairie restoration that might be 2 acres. So we really work with you to find a solution for your property where it's something that's going to be supporting pollinators, but hopefully is also going to be aesthetically pleasing so that they might be walking by and say, hey, what a beautiful garden. These projects are available to anyone who is a resident of the Watershed District and lives in Washington County. The first step would be to call the Washington Conservation District and get a site visit, and we can come out to your property and determine if there's a good project for you.
The city would love to see more residents add more pollinator-friendly and native plants to their landscape. It really does look beautiful. It's just awesome to invite more pollinators in to live in the landscape with you.
Other residents should do this because there is something you can do. It's not that hard. And you can get a sign, and you can put that sign in the middle of that lawn, and it can say, this is a pollinator habitat. And it's amazing how quickly that changes people's minds when they think you're not just being lazy, but you're being intentional. And if you plant a pollinator garden, and your neighbor plants a pollinator garden, and your neighbor next to you plants a pollinator garden, then we have made up for the habitat we've taken away, and we're helping our planet thrive.